If you love playing competitive games as much as I do, you'll know that choosing the right gaming mouse can make all the difference. And for years, the BenQ ZOWIE EC2-CW has been among one of the most popular gaming mice among pros, and for good reason. Now finally, the manufacturer has brought in the wireless model. It's called the EC2-CW, standing for wireless. Now you have also got its larger sibling, the EC1-CW, and then you've also got its smaller sibling, the EC3-CW. Now all these mice, no matter which size you want to go for, come in at £160 in the UK and $150 in the US. Now in this video, which has been sponsored by the manufacturer, I'll be covering everything you need to know about them. So to kick off, I would just like to talk about what you get in the box. Well, here you've got the mouse itself, the enhanced wireless receiver, which is certainly recommended to use, the USB wireless receiver, a USB Type-C adapter, a USB Type-C to USB Type-A braided cable, which is 2 meters long, and some additional skates, which can be handy for replacing them on your current mouse, of course, if they get worn over time. Then following on from that, you have got some warranty information and the user manual. Now in terms of the overall setup, is extremely simple because there are no drivers required. Indeed, over here there is also no software, meaning that you don't have to worry about it when you're taking it to your friend's house, a LAN tournament, or indeed just playing at home. Now in this respect, for you to get the most out of the mouse, you'll want to be connected over the enhanced wireless receiver. This connects over the supplied USB Type-A to Type-C cable and will be placed roughly 20 centimeters away from your mouse. This will ensure that you've got the lowest latency and thus the best sort of performance. If, however, you want to use the supplied 2.4 GHz USB wireless receiver, you can do so, be it plugging it in directly into your computer or your laptop, or using the little Type-C to Type-A adapter in order to get an extension, in other words, placing it closer to your desk or indeed your mouse. Now, aside from plugging in the mouse, you can also use the enhanced wireless receiver to charge it. And indeed over here it is quite handy because it means that when you are away from your computer, or if you've switched it off, and of course if you have ERP ready on the BIOS menu, and therefore means that you have set up USB power when your computer or laptop is off, it means that the mouse can effectively recharge when you're away from your desk. Now it's worth noting that the overall charge time is actually quite quick, so you'll have no sort of worries in this respect. Now as mentioned, there is no sort of software, and therefore all your controls are done from the mouse itself. Here you have got a DPI switch, which goes between 400, 800, 1600 and 3200. You've also got a USB polling rate, which goes between 125, 500 and 1000, where the latter is certainly suggested. Apart from these controls, you have also got the ability to change the lift-off distance, or LOD for short, and this can be done by pressing a combination of buttons. You can also change the click response time, and therefore means that you can have a faster or a normal response time, depending on your overall preference. Now aside from its settings, you have also got 5 buttons, or 7 if you include the 2 underneath it. Here you've got mouse button 1 and 2, the center scroll wheel, and the 2 found on the side. In fact, here's how they sound. Now as you might have noticed, there is no sort of rattle whatsoever, which shows good sort of build quality. You've also got a 24-step scroll wheel, which has that clicky sort of feel to it. Now as for the overall looks and feel, you have got an asymmetrical ergonomic design. And depending on which model you go for, you've got different sorts of measurements, which you'll be able to see on your screen right now, taken from BenQ's website. The EC1-CW weighs in at 79 grams, the EC2-CW, which is my personal favourite and preference, weighs in at 77 grams, while the EC3-CW weighs in at just 76 grams. Indeed, over here you've got 3 different sizes which are built to fit your own hands, so effectively you can choose a size that fits you best. There is no right or wrong answer, but in case you're wondering, my hand from all the way at the top of my index finger all the way towards the bottom of my palm is 18 centimeters. And from my own user preference, as I did mention, I do prefer the EC2-CW. Aside from that, I would just like to point out that the entire range is currently available in an all black matte finish, and therefore means that if you do have sweaty palms like I do, you don't actually have to worry about it because it's actually very easy to clean. Furthermore, it's also not got any sort of fancy nonsensical RGB lights. I don't ever see the point in them, but it's just something I thought I should highlight in this video. So moving on from all of this, what about when it comes to performance? Well, here it's got a polling rate that goes up to 1000 Hz, which should certainly suffice for lots of individuals and shouldn't be too taxing on your CPU. As for the DPI increments, it does go up to 3200, however I used it at 1600, with a sensitivity of 0.4 in Counter-Strike. Of course, this is all very subjective depending on your own user preference. However, the combination of this, including the fantastic feel of the buttons, meant that I was actually left jaw-dropped while using the mouse. I incurred no sort of problems. Furthermore, this is also aided by the fact that you have got the fantastic PixArt 3370 sensor, which provides fantastic one-to-one tracking capabilities and a great lift-off distance. Of course, this can also be customized, as I did point out before. Furthermore, you've got no sort of acceleration to worry about either. Now, with that in mind, some people might be wondering why it doesn't have a newer sensor, such as the PixArt 3395. And to that, BenQ state that they've spent time developing it so that it was fit for purpose, in other words for professional esports players, let alone consumers like myself. And in this respect, they want to ensure that it has got perfect latency, zero transmission interference, and avoids any sort of performance glitches. Indeed, in this respect, as a reminder, you want to make sure that you have got a stable wireless transmission with the enhanced wireless receiver in comparison to the regular USB receiver or the USB dongle. This will ensure that you have got zero signal losses and means that you can swipe away to your heart's content. So there we have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed my detailed overview of the new wireless mice from BenQ ZOWIE. I'd be curious to know what you make of them down in the comment section below, and of course if you've ever used or indeed owned one of their mice in the past. Now if you've liked this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe and hit that bell notification, all of which would be greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Totally Dubbed and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.